In recent years, the global agricultural landscape has undergone a dramatic shift as the world searches for more sustainable, efficient, and resilient ways to grow food. Among the most innovative solutions to emerge is vertical farming, a farming model that reimagines how crops can be grown in the modern era. Instead of relying on vast fields that stretch across rural land, vertical farming brings plant production into compact, controlled environments where crops are grown upward in stacked layers. This technique not only challenges our traditional perception of farming, but also opens the door to an entirely new way of thinking about food production, one that fits seamlessly into urban areas, abandoned warehouses, or even future space missions. Vertical farming can be seen as both a technological breakthrough and a response to the urgent challenges facing conventional agriculture. Across the globe, the effects of climate change, soil degradation, water shortages, and unpredictable weather patterns are placing enormous pressure on farmers. Traditional farming depends heavily on fertile land, consistent seasons, and access to clean water, all resources that are becoming increasingly unpredictable. As the world's population moves closer to an estimated 9.7 billion by 2050, the demand for food will increase at a pace that conventional farming alone may not be able to support. Urbanization further complicates this issue. As more people move into cities, the need for fresh, locally grown produce rises, yet the distance between farms and consumers continues to grow. Long supply chains lead to food waste, higher transportation costs, and reduced nutritional quality by the time the crops reach grocery shelves. As vertical farming emerged as a direct response to these limitations, offering a way to grow food closer to where people live while minimizing the environmental impact. Although the term vertical farming sounds futuristic, the concept has roots that go back several decades. Early ideas of skyscraper farms and indoor growing systems appeared in scientific proposals as early as the 20th century, but these ideas remained theoretical until recent advances in LED lighting, automation, and climate control technology made them practical. What once looked like science fiction is now an essential part of modern agricultural research and development. Today, vertical farms operate inside abandoned factories, shipping containers, specially designed buildings, and large warehouse-style facilities in major cities across the United States, Japan, Singapore, and many other parts of the world. Each facility is engineered to create perfect growing conditions, giving crops exactly the amount of light, water, and nutrients they need, no more and no less. One of the most compelling reasons vertical farming is gaining widespread attention is its potential to produce food year-round, regardless of external weather conditions. In a traditional outdoor farm, a sudden storm, drought, or pest outbreak can destroy an entire season's work. In contrast, vertical farms rely on tightly controlled environments that shield crops from all external threats. In these closed systems, farmers can fine-tune temperature, humidity, airflow, and lighting to create consistent conditions every day of the year. As a result, vertical farms can produce multiple harvests annually, dramatically increasing productivity compared to conventional farmland. This level of environmental control not only stabilizes production but also reduces reliance on chemical pesticides, making vertical farming a cleaner and safer method of food production. Another factor driving the rise of vertical farming is the rapid advancement of energy-efficient LED lighting. These lights can be calibrated to target specific wavelengths that optimize plant growth. Instead of relying on sunlight TS grown indoors receive precise recipes of light that help them grow faster and healthier. Combined with hydroponic or aeroponic systems that deliver nutrients directly to plant roots, vertical farming is capable of producing more food, using far less water than traditional methods. Some vertical farms are reported to use up to 95% less water than outdoor agriculture. A crucial advantage as water scarcity becomes an increasingly serious global issue. As we look around the world, it becomes increasingly clear that the future of agriculture must be innovative, adaptable, and far more efficient than what we currently rely on. Vertical farming represents a major shift in how humanity approaches food production. It moves farming away from dependence on natural conditions and brings it into a world where technology and biology work hand in hand. It challenges us to rethink where and how our food should be grown, and it offers a powerful vision of cities where fresh vegetables are produced just a few miles or even a few floors away from consumers. In this video, we will explore how vertical farming works, the benefits it brings, the challenges it faces, and the incredible potential it holds for the future of global food security. To truly understand why vertical farming is considered one of the most promising breakthroughs in modern agriculture, we need to look closely at how it actually works behind the scenes. While the concept may seem straightforward, growing plants in vertically stacked layers, the technology, engineering, and scientific precision involved are far more complex and fascinating. Vertical farming relies on a highly controlled ecosystem where nearly every environmental factor is monitored and adjusted to provide plants with exactly what hour that they need for optimal growth. Instead of depending on sunlight, soil, and natural rainfall, vertical farms create custom-designed growing environments that operate almost like biological factories, producing consistent results day after day. At the heart of most vertical farms is a system of stacked shelves or towers arranged to maximize space efficiency. These structures allow farmers to grow many layers of crops in the same footprint that would otherwise only support a single layer using traditional farming methods. The interior of a vertical farm often resembles a futuristic laboratory more than a traditional field. Rows of lush green plants are illuminated by bright LED lights, while automated machines, sensors, and tubes run quietly in the background, ensuring that every plant receives a precise balance of light, nutrients, and water. By controlling the environment from top to bottom, vertical farms transform food production into a predictable, day-to-day driven process. Lighting is one of the most critical elements in a vertical farm because, unlike outdoor farms, plants indoors cannot rely on sunlight. Modern vertical farms use advanced LED lighting systems that are specifically designed for plant growth. These LEDs are capable of emitting targeted wavelengths of light that optimize photosynthesis, Instead of giving plants the full spectrum of natural sunlight, which includes wavelengths, they do not efficiently use LEDs deliver only the most beneficial light, such as specific shades of red and blue. This precision allows crops to grow faster, healthier, and with better nutrient content. Additionally, LED technology has become far more energy efficient over the last decade, making vertical farming increasingly practical. From an economic standpoint, the next major component is the nutrient delivery system. Because vertical farms do not use soil, they rely on soilless growing techniques such as hydroponics, aeroponics, or aquaponics. In hydroponic systems, plant roots grow in a nutrient-rich water solution that circulates continuously, delivering essential minerals directly to the roots. This method eliminates the need for soil and ensures that plants receive consistent nutrition without the variability found in traditional farming. Aeroponics takes this concept even further by suspending plant roots in air and periodically misting them with nutrient solutions. This approach allows for even greater oxygen exposure, which can accelerate growth rates and reduce water usage. Aquaponics combines hydroponic growing with fish farming, creating a closed-loop ecosystem where fish waste becomes nutrients for plants, and plants help filter and clean the water for fish. Each method has its own advantages, but all share a common theme: maximizing efficiency while minimizing waste. Another key feature of vertical farming is environmental control. Temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide levels, and airflow are constantly monitored and adjusted by climate control systems. Plants thrive within specific environmental ranges, and even small fluctuations can impact their growth. Vertical farms use powerful HVAC heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems to maintain ideal conditions, ensuring that plants grow at a steady rate year-round. These systems eliminate the unpredictability of weather and seasonal changes, allowing vertical farms to produce harvest continuously. For crops like lettuces, herbs, microgreens, and strawberries, this level of control can result in significantly faster growth cycles. Compared to outdoor farming, the role of technology and automation cannot be overstated. Modern vertical farms heavily rely on data-driven decision-making. Sensors collect real-time information on nutrient levels, moisture content, light intensity, and environmental conditions. This data is analyzed through software systems, sometimes enhanced with artificial intelligence, that make precise adjustments to optimize plant health. Automation helps minimize labor costs and ensures consistency across every layer of the farm. Robotic arms may handle tasks such as seeding, transplanting, and harvesting, reducing the need for manual labor and increasing efficiency. By using technology to manage these processes, vertical farms can operate around the clock with minimal human intervention. Water management is another area where vertical farming excels. Traditional farming methods often waste large amounts of water through evaporation, runoff, and inefficient irrigation. In contrast, vertical farms use closed-loop systems that recycle water repeatedly. Excess water not absorbed by the plants is captured, filtered, enriched with nutrients, and returned to the system. This approach dramatically reduces water usage, often by up to 90 to 95% compared to traditional agriculture, making vertical farming especially valuable in regions facing freshwater shortages. One of the remarkable aspects of vertical farming is its versatility. A facility can be built inside a warehouse, a basement, a converted shipping sea container, or even a skyscraper specifically designed for agriculture, because these farms do not rely on external weather or soil quality. They can be established almost anywhere, from dense urban centers to remote areas with harsh climates. This adaptability opens new possibilities for local food production and reduces the distance food must travel before reaching consumers, helping to improve freshness and reduce environmental impact. Ultimately, vertical farming works by fusing plant science with engineering, automation, and advanced technology. It creates an environment where plants receive everything they need in the most efficient way possible, free from the limitations and uncertainties of traditional outdoor agriculture. By controlling every variable, light, nutrients, water, and climate, vertical farms have the potential to produce high-quality food at scale year-round and in places where traditional farming would be impossible. As we continue to advance the technologies that support these systems, vertical farming is steadily evolving from a niche innovation into a powerful tool that could reshape the future of food production. One of the most compelling reasons vertical farming has captured global attention is the extensive list of benefits it offers compared to conventional agriculture. As the world faces increasing pressures from population growth, climate instability, and shrinking arable land, vertical farming stands out as a method capable of addressing many of these challenges simultaneously. It redefines efficiency by maximizing output while minimizing resources, and it reshapes our understanding of what food production can look like in dense urban environments. The benefits extend far beyond simple convenience. They represent a significant shift in sustainability, resilience, and the future of global food systems. Perhaps the most immediate and noticeable advantage of vertical farming is its extraordinary use of space. Traditional farming spreads crops horizontally across large fields, requiring vast tracts of land that are becoming increasingly difficult to secure. In contrast, vertical farming builds upward rather than outward, stacking layers of crops in tall racks or multi-story structures. This approach dramatically increases agricultural yield per square meter, allowing even small buildings in urban areas to produce significant quantities of food. In cities where land prices are high and open space is scarce, this model becomes incredibly valuable. It allows fresh greens, herbs, and vegetables to be grown within walking distance of the consumers who need them, eliminating the need to depend solely on rural farms located hundreds or thousands of miles away. Another powerful benefit is water efficiency. Agriculture consumes more fresh water than any other industry on Earth, and water scarcity is becoming one of the greatest threats to food production. Vertical farms respond to this challenge with systems designed to recycle and reuse almost every drop of water that enters the facility. Because hydroponic and aeroponic systems deliver water directly to plant roots, there is no runoff, no evaporation from open fields, and no water lost to dry soil. The closed-loop nature of these systems means that whatever water the plants do not absorb is filtered, enriched with nutrients, and circulated back into the system. In many cases, vertical farms can reduce water usage by up to 95%, which represents a breakthrough for sustainable agriculture, especially in regions suffering from drought. Vertical farming also provides a unique ability to grow food year-round, unaffected by external weather conditions. Outdoor agriculture depends heavily on seasonal cycles, meaning farmers are limited by temperature, rainfall patterns, and daylight hours. Bad weather, unexpected frosts, prolonged heat waves, or heavy storms can destroy entire crops. In contrast, vertical farms operate like climate-controlled environments where temperature, humidity, airflow, and light are maintained with precision throughout the year. The result is a stable and reliable food supply that can continue producing even during extreme climate events. This ability to generate uninterrupted harvests has significant implications for food security, especially as climate change intensifies and weather events grow more unpredictable. Another significant advantage is the ability to drastically reduce or eliminate the use of pesticides and herbicides in an outdoor environment. Crops are constantly exposed to pests, weeds, fungi, and diseases, which often forces farmers to rely on chemical treatments. Vertical farms, however, operate in sealed indoor environments where air filters, controlled entry points, and sanitation protocols keep pests and contaminants out. Without the constant threat of insects or invasive weeds, crops can grow in clean conditions, resulting in produce that is not only safer, but often fresher and more nutritious. This reduction in chemical usage benefits the environment as well, preventing harmful substances from entering soil and water systems. Vertical farming also shortens the distance food must travel, a factor known as food miles. In traditional agriculture, vegetables and fruits often travel across states or even countries before reaching grocery shelves. This long journey not only reduces freshness, but also increases carbon emissions from transportation. When vertical farms are located within or near city centers, they can deliver produce within hours of harvest, offering consumers fresher, more flavorful food while reducing environmental impact for retailers and restaurants. This means more consistent supply chains and less risk of spoilage, helping reduce food waste across the entire distribution system. Another benefit lies in the consistency and predictability of production. Because vertical farms rely on automation and controlled environments, they can deliver uniform crops with minimal variation. This level of consistency is highly valuable for supermarkets, restaurants, and food companies that rely on steady supply and standardized quality. Additionally, the ability to fine-tune growing conditions allows vertical farms to enhance flavor, texture, and nutritional value, creating premium products that appeal to health-conscious consumers. From a broader perspective, vertical farming also creates opportunities for revitalizing urban communities by transforming unused buildings such as warehouses, factories, or abandoned commercial spaces into productive farms. cities can seek new sources of local employment and promote greener, more resilient neighborhoods. Vertical farms can operate in places where traditional farming would be impossible. Rooftops, basements, dense city blocks, or regions with harsh weather conditions. This versatility opens the door for communities to have greater control over their food sources, reducing dependence on national or global supply chains that can be disrupted by economic or environmental crises. In addition, vertical farming has the potential to reduce the agricultural industry's overall environmental footprint without the need for heavy machinery, long-distance transportation, or large-scale land clearing. Vertical farms can significantly reduce carbon emissions. They also protect natural ecosystems by reducing pressure to convert forests, wetlands, or grasslands into farmland as the world becomes more environmentally conscious. The appeal of a farming method that produces more with less impact becomes increasingly powerful. Taken together, the benefits of vertical farming paint a picture of a highly adaptable, efficient, and sustainable food production system. It offers a way to feed growing populations while conserving precious resources, reducing environmental damage, and bringing fresh food closer to the people who need it. Although the technology is still evolving, the advantages it already provides make it clear why vertical farming is seen as a vital part of the future of agriculture. Despite the optimism surrounding vertical farming and the impressive progress it has made in recent years, the system is far from perfect. In fact, one of the reasons the industry continues to evolve so rapidly is because researchers, engineers, and entrepreneurs are constantly working to overcome the numerous challenges that stand in the way of large-scale adoption. While vertical farming offers a potential roadmap toward a more resilient and sustainable food supply, it must also confront significant economic, technological, and environmental limitations. Understanding these obstacles is essential, not only for evaluating the realistic potential of vertical farming, but also for shaping the innovations that will drive the next generation of agricultural solutions. Perhaps the most significant challenge is the high cost of building and operating vertical farms. Constructing a facility equipped with advanced lighting systems, automated irrigation networks, climate control units, and monitoring technologies requires a massive upfront investment. Compared to traditional farming where the primary natural inputs like sunlight and rain are free, vertical farms depend on costly artificial systems to replicate the same conditions. Even after construction, the operating expenses remain high. Electricity alone, especially for LED lighting and heating or cooling systems, accounts for a substantial portion of total costs. This financial barrier makes it extremely difficult for smaller farmers or startups to enter the field and limits vertical farming scalability. Unless major funding or government support is available, until energy costs decrease or new technologies emerge to significantly improve efficiency, many vertical farming operations will struggle to achieve consistent profitability. Energy consumption is closely tied to another major obstacle: sustainability concerns. Although vertical farming often presents itself as an eco-friendly alternative to traditional agriculture, its reliance on electricity raises difficult questions about long-term environmental impact. If the energy used to power vertical farms comes from fossil fuels, the carbon footprint may outweigh some of the environmental benefits gained from water efficiency and reduced pesticide usage. While renewable energy sources such as solar or wind power can help offset these concerns, integrating them into vertical farming systems is not always straightforward or cost-effective. Balancing sustainability with economic feasibility remains one of the industry's most persistent challenges, and striking the right balance will likely determine how widely vertical farming can expand in the future. Another limitation lies in the types of crops that are economically viable to grow indoors. Currently, vertical farms excel at producing leafy greens, herbs, microgreens, and certain types of berries. These crops grow quickly, require relatively little space, and have high market value, making them ideal for a controlled environment. However, large staple crops such as wheat, corn, rice, potatoes, and soybeans remain far more difficult and expensive to grow vertically. Their size, long growth cycles, and lower retail prices make them unsuitable for high-cost indoor production. As a result, vertical farms cannot fully replace traditional agriculture. Instead, they serve as a complementary system that improves local access to fresh produce, but cannot yet meet the world's demand for staple foods. Technological complexity also plays a significant role in limiting vertical farming's expansion. Operating a vertical farm requires a diverse set of expertise, including horticulture, engineering, computer-esque, data analytics, and systems maintenance. The level of automation and precision required means that even minor technical issues such as a faulty sensor, ventilation malfunction, or nutrient imbalance can quickly result in crop losses. Training personnel to manage these complex systems can be time-consuming and expensive, and in regions where technical expertise is scarce, the challenge becomes even greater. As vertical farms become more advanced, the demand for skilled workers will increase, potentially creating a bottleneck for industry growth. Additionally, vertical farming must grapple with market competition and consumer expectations. Traditional farming benefits from centuries of refinement and well-established supply chains, making it extremely efficient and cost-effective. Competing with these long-standing systems is a significant challenge for vertical farm operators. Consumers are often willing to pay a premium for fresh, locally grown produce, but there are limits to how much the market will tolerate. If vertical farming cannot reduce production costs, its products may remain accessible only to higher-income consumers, which limits its ability to contribute meaningfully to global food security. Achieving economic parity with traditional agriculture is essential for vertical farming to become a mainstream solution rather than a niche market. Environmental and logistical challenges also play a role. While controlled environments reduce the need for pesticides, they also eliminate the natural ecosystem services provided by outdoor environments, such as pollination by insects. For crops that require pollination, vertical farms must either avoid growing them or rely on manual pollination, which is labor-intensive and costly. Additionally, indoor environments can create unforeseen vulnerabilities. If a disease or pathogen somehow enters the sealed system, it can spread rapidly throughout the facility because of the uniform conditions. These outbreaks can be catastrophic and difficult to manage. Finally, one of the more subtle challenges is the public perception of vertically farmed food. While many consumers appreciate the sustainability and freshness associated with indoor-grown produce, others are skeptical of food grown without soil or natural sunlight. Overcoming this perception tie-in requires education, transparency, and clear communication about the safety, nutritional value, and environmental benefits of indoor farming. Building trust with consumers is crucial aspect. Vertical farming aims to play a significant role in feeding future generations. In summary, the challenges facing vertical farming are substantial, but they are not insurmountable. The high initial costs, energy demands, crop limitations, technical requirements, and market competition all represent real barriers that must be addressed. Yet, each challenge also creates an opportunity for innovation as technology evolves, as renewable energy becomes more accessible, and as research expands into new crop varieties and more efficient systems. Vertical farming will continue to grow stronger and more viable. Recognizing these limitations is not a setback, it is a necessary step toward building an agricultural system capable of meeting the demands of the future. As vertical farming continues to evolve, it stands at the intersection of technology, sustainability, and global food security, offering a vision of agriculture that is both innovative and adaptable. The future of vertical farming is shaped by rapid advancements in automation, artificial intelligence, energy systems, and plant science, each contributing to a more efficient, resilient, and scalable model of food production. While significant challenges remain, the opportunities ahead are vast, and the coming decades are likely to transform vertical farming from a promising alternative into a mainstream pillar of agriculture. One of the most influential trends guiding the future of vertical farming is the increasing integration of artificial intelligence and robotics. AI has the potential to optimize every stage of plant production by analyzing massive data sets collected from sensors that monitor temperature, humidity, nutrient levels, and light intensity. These intelligent systems can detect subtle patterns or stress signals that human operators might overlook, allow real-time adjustments that improve crop yield and quality. Robotics will play an equally important role by automating labor-intensive tasks such as seeding, transplanting, pruning, harvesting, and packaging. As these technologies mature, vertical farms will require fewer human workers while operating around the clock, making production more consistent and cost-effective. Advances in plant science and genetic research are also expected to reshape the types of crops that can be economically grown in vertical farms. Today's indoor facilities focus primarily on leafy greens and herbs, but scientists are actively developing new crop varieties engineered specifically for controlled environments. These plants might have shorter growth cycles, higher yields, or improve tolerance to dense planting. Researchers are exploring compact versions of tomatoes, peppers, berries, and even cereal grains that could thrive under artificial light and hydroponic systems. Over time, this research could significantly expand the commercial viability of indoor-grown food, transforming vertical farms into providers of a much wider range of produce. Energy innovation will be another major driver of future growth, as vertical farms rely heavily on electricity for lighting and environmental control. The transition toward renewable energy sources will be essential for long-term sustainability. Solar panels, wind turbines, and energy storage technologies are becoming more efficient and affordable, creating new opportunities for vertical farms to reduce energy costs and minimize their carbon footprint. Some future facilities may be designed to integrate renewable systems directly into their structure, producing much of the power they need on site. Additionally, improvements in LED lighting efficiency will continue to reduce operational expenses, bringing vertical farming closer to economic parity with traditional agriculture. The rise of smart cities and urban development also presents powerful opportunities. As global populations shift toward urban centers, cities are increasingly exploring ways to become more self-sufficient and environmentally responsible. Vertical farms can be incorporated into residential buildings, retail complexes, schools, hospitals, and public infrastructure, turning unused rooftops or abandoned industrial areas into productive food sources. These farms not only shorten supply chains, but also contribute to cleaner air, improved urban aesthetics, and increased community engagement. Some cities are even considering building multi-purpose agriculture towers to combine vertical farming with office spaces, greenhouses, restaurants, and living areas, creating ecosystems where fresh food is grown and consumed within the same structure. Government incentives and policy development will also shape the future of vertical farming. As concerns about food security grow, many governments are recognizing the value of investing in resilient, climate-proof agricultural systems. Policies that support renewable energy adoption, provide tax incentives for sustainable farming, or fund research into controlled environment agriculture, and accelerate the expansion of vertical farms. Countries facing limited arable land such as Singapore, Japan, and the United Arab Emirates are already adopting such strategies, and similar initiatives may spread globally as the benefits of vertical farming become more widely understood. Another opportunity lies in hybrid models that combine vertical farming with other types of controlled environment agriculture, such as greenhouses. This approach blends the strengths of natural sunlight with the precision of indoor farming. Hybrid systems can reduce energy consumption by leveraging daylight when available while still maintaining the environmental control needed for reliable production. By integrating vertical racks inside greenhouse structures or using retractable roofing, farmers can create flexible environments capable of supporting a broader variety of crops. These hybrid models may become a practical stepping stone for regions transitioning from traditional agriculture to high-tech indoor farming as the industry evolves. Vertical farming may also play a significant role in addressing global food insecurity. Climate change is already reducing crop yields in many parts of the world, while population growth continues to rise. Vertical farms offer a way to produce food in regions where traditional agriculture is hindered by extreme temperatures, poor soil, drought, or political instability in remote or conflict-prone areas. Decentralized vertical farms can provide local access to food without relying on long, vulnerable supply chains. Humanitarian organizations and governments may increasingly adopt vertical farming as part of disaster response strategies, setting up quickly deployable systems that provide fresh produce in emergencies. Looking even further ahead, the future of vertical farming may extend beyond Earth itself. Space agencies such as NASA and private companies exploring lunar or Martian habitats recognize that controlled environment agriculture will be essential for sustaining human life during long-term missions. Vertical farming technologies compact, efficient, and independent of natural weather are well suited for extraterrestrial environments. Research on plant growth under artificial light, nutrient recycling, and closed-loop ecosystems developed on Earth will likely inform future food systems for space exploration. Ultimately, the future of vertical farming is defined by both its challenges and its potential. As technology advances and costs gradually decrease, vertical farming will become more accessible, more efficient, and more essential to the global food system. Its ability to produce fresh food regardless of climate, geography, or season positions it as one of the most powerful tools in the effort to build a sustainable and resilient future. Whether integrated into urban landscapes, rural communities, high-tech research facilities, or even off-planet colonies, vertical farming represents a transformational shift in how humanity grows and consumes food. The next generation will likely view indoor farming not as an alternative, but as a natural and necessary evolution of agriculture in a rapidly changing world.